I was one of the last customers in the mall that night. It was Friday and I'd lingered after work, browsing shelves I didn't even care about, mostly to avoid going home to my empty apartment. By the time I looked up, the announcement was playing. Attention shoppers, the mall will be closing in 10 minutes. I grabbed a coffee from the food court and headed toward the escalators. But halfway down, I noticed something off. All the stores on the lower level were already shuttered. The only open space was the dimly lit corridor to the service area. The main entrance was locked. I pulled hard. It didn't budge. I called out, my voice echoing, but no guard came. Then I saw him. A man in a faded janitor uniform was standing by the far wall, hands deep in his pockets, watching me. "Staff exits this way," he said, voice low. My stomach tightened. There was no reason for the mall to be locked yet, and the official exits were nowhere near the service hall. I mumbled something about waiting for security, and his jaw twitched. He stepped closer. I didn't think. I sprinted back toward the escalator, my shoes slipping on polished tile. Behind me, I heard his footsteps hit the ground fast. I made it to the second floor and ducked into a clothing store, whose side door I'd noticed earlier. The lights were off, but I slipped through, then into the fire exit, slamming the bar so hard the alarm screamed. That's when the real security ran in from the parking lot. I pointed back, breathless, but when they checked, the corridor was empty. Later, one guard told me no janitors were scheduled that night. I went to the mall that afternoon to shop for a dress. The boutique I liked had small changing rooms with heavy curtains, no locks. I was alone in there, trying on a navy blue one, when I heard the faint scrape of something against the wall. At first, I thought it was another customer, but the sound was too low, too deliberate, like fabric shifting. I froze and looked down. In the corner where the curtain didn't fully touch the floor, there was a shadow. The shape was wrong, not feet, but something crouched, angled toward me. My phone was in my bag, out on the bench. Slowly, I reached for the curtain, but it moved before I touched it. Not pulled open, pushed inward, slightly. I yanked it all the way, and stepped out fast. The space outside was empty, except for the rack of clothes and my bag. Then I noticed the mirror across from my booth. It didn't reflect the other changing rooms, just a blank wall, which made no sense because I'd seen movement in the gap earlier. A staff member came over, asking if I was okay. I said no and asked about the wall. She hesitated, then admitted it was a storage space, but they'd found people hiding in there before, trying to watch customers through cracks in the plaster. She said they'd reported it, but the mall management hadn't done much. I walked out, feeling my skin crawl, wondering how long that shadow had been there before I noticed. It was raining when I left the mall, my hands full of shopping bags. The multi-level parking deck was almost empty, the air cold and damp. My car was on level 4. I unlocked it with the remote, the beep echoing unnaturally loud. That's when I heard another car door slam. But it came from the opposite side of the deck, in a row with no cars parked. I tried to brush it off, loading my bags in the trunk. Then I saw a man walking slowly from that empty row, head down, hoodie drawn tight. He didn't seem to have a car nearby. I got into mine quickly, locking the doors. But, as I started the engine, I glanced in the mirror. He was standing behind my car, just out of reach of the backup camera, looking at my license plate. I honked, and he stepped aside, expression blank, hands in pockets. I drove to the exit, heart pounding, but when I stopped to pay the ticket, I saw him again in the corner of the booth's window, walking toward the pedestrian exit. The weird part? That exit led straight back into the mall. 2 weeks later, my apartment buzzer rang twice in the middle of the night. No one was there. But on the door was a folded note with my license plate number written in blue ink.